Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to give you a complete tour of the make.com workspace so you know exactly where everything is. But first, you need to create a make.com account. Using the make.com link in the description below, you are going to be directed to this page. From here, you can now create your make.com account. So to create a make.com account, you just need to click on Get Started Free button. Once you click on that, you'll be directed to the sign up page. Now you can either sign up using your Google account or you sign up using Apple, Facebook, or GitHub. Or better still, you can just sign up by filling this form and submit. So using the Google, I can just click on continue with Google and it will prompt me to link up with any of my Gmail accounts. You can select any of your available Gmail account and you will be signed up. Once you are signed up, you will be directed to this page. This is your main dashboard. This is where you will see your scenarios, recent executions, and your connected apps. So from this dashboard, you are going to be able to see everything about you on make.com. Now from here, we can see the average daily usage. So as you run your automations, you are going to see how your credits are being used on a daily basis. Credit left. This shows you the amount of credit you have left for a specific month. So depending on the kind of plan you are on. Now your usage resets in a particular number of days. So every month your usage is being reset. So if you're always giving 1,000 credits monthly or 10,000 credits monthly, every month it will reset. So this usage reset in 10 days shows that after 10 days, my credit will reset back to 10,000 and I'll be able to use it again, provided that I still maintain that specific subscription plan. Now, talking about subscription, there are different subscriptions in make.com. For every new persons, you are going to start with this free plan. So this free plan gives you access to use make.com as much as you want. However, there are limitations. One of the limitations for this free plan is that you can only have 2 active scenarios. 2 active scenarios means you are making these scenarios to run 24/7. So it's always running and you cannot have more than 2 such scenarios. So that is the limitation. So if you need to have some other automations to run, you need to make some of your active scenarios inactive so that you can run others. So that's just the limitation. And every month you will be given 1,000 credits. So which means with your 1,000 credits, you can run different scenarios as much as possible. And when you exhaust that, you just need to either do a better subscription plan or better still wait till the end of the month before you continue again. Now, one other important thing is your scenarios can only execute within a 5-minute time frame. This means that for your scenario from start to finish, it shouldn't exceed 5 minutes, which means you are going to be limited to having a much more complex scenario. So if you need to have much more complex scenarios, then you need to opt in for a better subscription plan. So here are other subscription plan you can work with. We have the core, we have the pro, we have the theme. So you are going to select the one that suits your need. Now, let's talk about scenarios. A scenario is simply an automation, your workflow. Every scenario starts with a trigger and ends with an action. Now, all these you are seeing here are scenarios that are already created. So whenever you create a scenario, it will appear here. Now, if I click on one of these, it will take me to the scenario editor. Now, this is how your scenario will look like. So when you start creating a scenario, it will first of all look simple, and as you keep expanding it, it will become much more complex depending on what you intend to automate. Now, the scenario editor is where the magic happens. The editor lets you drag, drop, and connect modules. You will build your entire automation visually, like drawing a flowchart. So as you can see from here, you can connect as many apps as you want. Now let's talk about some key things you need to understand in this editor. These run once enable you to run your scenario once. That is to start running from this Airtable, move to the router, down to this first part of the automation. Then after the first part is completed, it will move to the second part, then the final part. So that's what this run once button does. This part is the scheduling. So you can either schedule your automation to run at a specific interval or run on a specific day and a specific time of the day. So you can always change it depending on the choice. So you can run it at regular intervals, maybe at 15-minute intervals, maybe at 30-minute intervals, or you can decide to run it once, run it every day, run it for some specific days of the week, or some specific days of the month, or some specified days. You can also put it to run on demand. So all these you are going to explore throughout this course. Now this button is used to save your scenario. Whenever you make changes, you click on this to save your scenario, just to keep everything in check. Now this part helps you to align your scenario. So let's say I drag this down here now, or my scenario is not properly aligned. I can just click on this to keep everything aligned. So it will make my scenario to look much more aligned and in sync. Now this button helps you to even explain your workflow. Sometimes you might not be sure of, okay, how is this thing going to run? With this button, it will help you to explain the flow. Now let me click on this and you see how the flow of this scenario will work. I click this and you can see from the Airtable it moves to the router, then it goes to the first part of the automation. Now it's in the second part. After that is done, it moves to the third part, and that is just as simple as it is. So that explains how the scenario is going to run. So this part helps you to define your scenario input and output. So if you need to have a kind of input structure or output structure, this is where you come to do that. Now, this is your scenario setting. If you will have any specific setting you would like to do for your scenario, here is where you can do that. So the next thing is notes. While structuring your scenario, you can take notes to identify some key things you need to be conscious about or you need to define. So this is where you do all those note taking. Now this button here is to enable you go back to the previous version of your scenario. Maybe you made a mistake or you are unsure of something you are doing at that instance. You can take yourself back to the previous version and make your follow-ups intact. Now the next part is the flow control. Flow control is used to manage logic by using special modules like router, iterators, and aggregators to direct, loop, and combine data bundles. This allows you to build more complex and efficient automations, such as sending different leads to specific email sequences based on their origin. This can be achieved using the router, or processed a list of items one by one using iterator. So with this, you are able to make your scenario much more powerful. So you are going to explore this over time. Now the next part is the tools. These are a collection of built-in modules designed to help users control workflow execution, manipulate data, and manage complex scenarios without writing expensive code. So with these tools, you can make your automation much more powerful and have much more complex system. Now the next part is the test parser. These are tools that can be used to retrieve desired elements from an HTML code. So let's say you have an HTML content and you need to search for a specific element. This is where you come to. Or maybe you want to find exact string elements matching a search pattern from a given text. You have a text and you need to find some specific text. Then this is where you need to come to utilize the built-in text parsers. You can also use it to search for specific values or regular expressions and replace them with the desired value. So that's it. Now, all these guys you are seeing here, they are modules. A module is like an action or a trigger. This Airtable module is helping us to search records from an Airtable base. So each one of these modules, they have their own specific functions. Every app, Google Sheets, Notion, email, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook pages has modules. These are the building blocks. So with these modules, you can do anything possible. So there are different apps. If you want to add a new module, let's say I want to add a module now, just click on this plus button and I'll see the list of all available apps, from which when I select one of them, I can see their modules. So that's how it is. Now the next part is connection. Let's talk about connections. This is where all your app logins live. When you connect an app like Gmail once, you can use it in every scenario. So with this my connections, when I'm starting a new scenario that needs to use them, I don't need to start again to create any of these connections. So if you want to see every of your connections, you come to this connection page and you are able to see every single one of them. Now back to scenario. Let's talk about execution history. Now what is execution history? When you open one of these scenarios, let me open this. You can see the history of how your scenario runs. Now, if you come to this history part, you click on history, you will see every single scenarios that has been run. So you are able to identify what is being done. If I click on this particular one and I click on details, it will show me every of the logs. So I'll be able to see what was done, what happened, and how everything happened. First, you can see that Airtable search records. That is the first part here. Then OpenAI will generate a completion, which is this first part here. Then Facebook now upload a video, which is this. Now we move to the second part and so on. So you can see how the execution was done. So this is where you come to if you want to see how your workflow ran. Now the next part is templates. Make.com also has thousands of templates. These are pre-built automation you can use or study. So you can see from here we have pre-built templates you can explore, use, or just study to know how they were created. To use one of these, you could just click on them. So this is the template. So from here, you can create a new scenario from template. So if I click on this now, it will automatically convert this to my own scenario. Then I can make edits and make every necessary connections. So the next part we are going to be talking about is AI agents. AI agents are software systems that perceive their environment, make decisions, and take actions to achieve goals with autonomy. Make.com also gives you the opportunity to create your own AI agent based on what you want. So in this course, we are also going to create an AI agent and explore how AI agent works. So guys, that's the full tour. Remember to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification so that you'll be notified when we post the next video. Also remember to share the channel with your friends so that they can also learn. Now that you understand the interface, let's build your first ever automation in the next video.